Welcome everyone for another episode of the LNG Academy. Behind me is the 366 meters long container ship OOCL Berlin. We are at the Agua Clara locks on the Atlantic side of the Panama Canal.
The Panama Canal is a vital artery for the global LNG trade, connecting Atlantic production hubs to Pacific markets with unparalleled efficiency. This engineering marvel shortens transit times by weeks, reducing costs and emissions while enabling the delivery of liquefied natural gas to meet surging energy demand across Asia and beyond. However, recent congestion and high toll rates are prompting many LNG carriers to avoid the canal, seeking alternative routes to maintain schedules and manage costs. Even so, the canal remains a strategic link in fueling the world's energy future.
We're joined here today with Silvia de Marucci. Silvia, welcome.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here with you.
I have to say, I very much enjoyed your presentation yesterday. You covered a lot of ground. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, I'm Silvia de Marucci. I am the Strategic Advisor of Maritime Business at the Panama Canal Authority.
Thank you. One of the questions that comes up in LNG is the impact or potential impact of the water levels in the Panama Canal. Of course, it's operated through fresh water, environmental change. Can you provide some context insofar as what the impact may be over the next 5 years for the trade of LNG?
Well, the canal had a very, very rough El Nino year between 2023 and 2024. These events have become happened more often in the past few years. And this year was very extreme, and we had to reduce the number of transits. It was a restriction from 36 to 38 daily to about 25, 24 transits per day. This is not expected to happen every year, and the canal is working already in projects to compensate the lack of rain for some years. And the idea is to build a new reservoir. And this is a project that will take about 6 years to complete. But we expect that with all the initiatives that we have taken already, we should not have a similar event in the future as we had in 2024. So I expect that for the LNG trade, the Panama Canal will continue to be an important commercial artery globally.
Excellent. Thank you, Silvia. There was one other comment that you made, and it kind of struck with me. And it was, I'm paraphrasing here, but you said something along the lines of this could not have been done without, on the LNG side and the expansion, this could not have been done without the help of strategic partners, okay? Perhaps across the value chain. I think you referenced some of the projects in the US Gulf Coast. Could you expand on that in terms of what that input was, broadly speaking, and how that helped shape things?
Well, of course, that brings me back to very, I would say, sweet memories of a very special time when we were working on the expansion of the canal. And obviously, we didn't know much about the LNG industry. So that was probably 2006, between 2006 and 2015, when we started to learn about LNG. At the beginning, we only saw LNG coming out of Peru because it was the only actual terminal that was in operation going to Europe. But then the horizontal fracking happened and all the terminals in the US began to happen. So we were learning about it and attending conferences like the one that we have today. And I found very, very good partners in this LNG industry. We work with companies like Cheniere, like BP, I would say all the terminals, Sabine Pass and Freeport. So a number of players. Like I mean, it would be horrible if I don't mention them all, because it was really a lot of people helping, Repsol, Gas Natural, and they were very open with the information for me to understand how the business worked. And for me, it was amazing because it was a very important learning period. We learned about how the trade was done, the costs associated, how to calculate when a vessel was using boil-off gas as bunker in comparison to the fuel oil. So it was very useful to learn the costing, the trading, the type of players that we had in the industry. And that helped us shape our policies in terms of pricing, in terms of reservation windows. And eventually also, I would say SIGTTO and GIIGNL were very special to help us shape also our safety and protection policies for the vessels to actually be able to transit the canal. At the beginning, we were like, oh my God, we will have to shut down the canal for one of these vessels to transit. But working with them, we were able to develop our risk analysis and develop strategies to allow these vessels to transit the canal without having to stop the rest of the traffic from going through.
You know, it really is so nice to hear that, because I think it's a great example of just showing how open actually the industry is in terms of collaboration. And thank you very much for this, Silvia. I appreciate it.
The expansion of the Panama Canal consists of the construction of 2 new set of locks, the deepening and widening of the existing channels, and the excavation of a new navigational access channel connecting the new set of locks on the Pacific side and the Culebra Cut. The new set of locks on the Pacific side is named Cocoli Locks, and the new set on the Atlantic side is named Agua Clara Locks. The chambers of these new locks have 427 meters of usable length when both guarding gates are closed, with a width of 55 meters and a depth of 18.3 meters. These new dimensions will initially allow the transit of vessels of up to 366 meters in length, 49 meters in beam, and a maximum draft of 15 meters in tropical freshwater. Each lock chamber has 3 water-saving basins, which enable reusing 60% of the water required for each transit.
I'm here with Jose Arango with the Panama Canal Authority. Jose, can you explain the recent changes in the reservation system?
Yes, for sure. Because of the uncertainties and the way that the world is evolving, and because of the drought that we have last year, the Panama Canal has been, as we usually do, try to follow the industry and try to understand a little bit better how that we can adapt. And therefore, that is why we created the long-term reservation system, we call it LoTSA. The LoTSA is a system in which, for example, in the case of LNGs, what we're looking for is to bring certainty to the transit to the canal. Because of the drought that we have, and because of the geopolitical problems that we've seen, the wars in Ukraine and everything else, we've seen the movement of LNG vessels going different routes. And therefore, we're trying to provide the industry with certainty and bring in here. The LoTSA it's a recently developed program that we presented, in which, following the ADP program, in which you have 1 year in advance, we are offering now bookings for segmented by packets for the different segments: LNG, LPG, containers, which are the ones, and mostly all of them for the Neo-panamax locks. So what we're trying to do here is to provide the clients with the opportunity to book 1 year in advance, weekly. So that is why we created this, in order for them to have the certainty that they will have the opportunity to transit the canal at the specific dates that they're looking for to provide and move the cargo to their area in the Far East.
Well, that's excellent, Jose. So he's providing a higher degree of certainty.
That is correct.
To the value chain.
Yes.
Okay.
And at the same time, helping and following what the market usually do. Because the LNG market is a market in which, as long as we understand it, needs that certainty. And since they developed their ADPs in September, November, we're trying to provide that same package by those dates, so that by January the 5th of 2025, the customers that won those packets are going to be able to schedule for the whole year their transits through the Panama Canal, through the Neo-panamax locks. And not only for LNG, but as well as LPGs, as well as containers.
That's fantastic, Jose. Jose, thank you very much.
Thanks to you for the opportunity.
The Panama Canal aims to regain vessel traffic carrying US LNG to Asia as demand in that market rises, and the new reservation system allows shippers to lock in slots following a 65% decline in the transit of its second most important segment. Because the Panama Canal Authority charges a set fee per passage, it can be more convenient for US producers to take longer routes to Asia depending on the global LNG prices, delivery terms in contracts, and seasonal demand. The Panama Canal is an unforgettable destination, offering a glimpse into one of the world's greatest engineering achievements. While the Miraflores locks are popular, we visited the Agua Clara locks on the Atlantic side for a truly and unique experience. Here you can marvel at the massive Neo-panamax vessels as they navigate through these modern locks. With spacious viewing platforms and fewer crowd, it's the ideal spot to appreciate the canal's scale and significance. For a more thrilling experience, we booked a small boat to sail alongside VLEC, or very large ethane carrier Seri Emory, on the iconic Gatun Lake. The sheer size and power of this Seri Emory against the backdrop of lush tropical scenery made for a truly unforgettable adventure. Adding to the excitement, Panama's incredible wildlife surrounded us. It was the perfect blend of engineering marvel and natural beauty.
Give me something.